Hi, I am Life Coach Latricia Booker with Kingdom Business, where we are empowered, where we are healed, delivered, and where we get free, where we know who we are, elevate our minds and our spirits, and raise and expand our consciousness to ultimately walk in our true divine purpose. That is the truth of who we really are, who God is in us, and who we are in God. And so, in this video, I want to share with you one shocking way to heal. And so, although we know there are many things that are contributed to healing, I want to share one thing that is very important, one thing that is at the forefront of your healing, one thing that is going to make the ultimate difference in how you heal. And so, that one thing is to take responsibility. That's right. You have to take responsibility for your own healing. And so the reason why I say take responsibility is because it's up to you to heal. It's up to you. Although you may have support, although you may even have someone that makes you accountable or that holds you accountable, you may even see a therapist or a psychiatrist or a counselor or have a mentor and or a coach, even a healer. Even though all those things may be in place, all or one or two, or maybe not even any at all, the whole idea is that you have to take responsibility for your own healing. And so, one thing that you want to try to keep from doing in taking responsibility for your own healing is to try not to blame anyone. If someone has caused you any harm or did something to you that's hurtful, or that you perceive as hurtful, and I say that because many of times people are not always doing things towards us. People are not doing always doing things to us. In my experience, I've seen where, um, in my personal experience, certain behaviors from other people have caused me to maybe move around them or distance myself from them, or either just not be in their life or have them in mind anymore. And in those instances, some of them, I find that they're hurt as if I've done something to them. And so I'm not saying that maybe in some instances I haven't caused some kind of harm. I do have the tendency to apologize when I know I've been out of order because we're all human. We all make mistakes. We all are working through our things where I'm not going to say we all are because all of us are not. But the point that I'm making is that I too have had to make amends and apologize, and I too have been in error. Even right now today, I'm constantly being corrected. I'm constantly being shown my error in a effort to improve and to correct things and become better at things. And so I'm saying all that to say that many of times when you do what you need to do for yourself, and you move around something that's just not healthy for you, um, sometimes the other party is feels hurt by what you're doing. They feel like you're hurting them. When the truth of the matter is, many times their behavior is what's hurting you and what's causing you to move around. And so, vice versa, as I said before, I've had behaviors where the other party may needed to move around me, and that's okay. Um, in most of those cases, I tend to understand when someone is moving around me because of my behavior. I'm improving on that. I'm much better at that. But I'm saying that to say that sometimes you can be hurt because someone had to do something for themselves. Someone had to do something where they may not have been able to continue in a relationship or continue in a friendship with you or continue in whatever kind of association you had with them. And so you may feel hurt by that. And so, to wrap all that up, what I'm saying about that is that you want to be careful that you're not blaming. Even if your reason for hurting or your reason for wanting to blame is legitimate. Sometimes you have a legitimate reason, but blaming only hinders your healing. You blaming someone for what they've done, what they did to hurt you, whatever the case may be, does not help you heal at all. In fact, it does the exact opposite. It keeps you stuck. It keeps you in a place where you're bitter and resentful because as long as you're blaming, you're not healing. I know it's easier said than done, but many a times we have to forgive an offense. We have to forgive an offense and understand and come to a place of compassion where we are all human and we're all trying to work through things, or we're all here on this planet and we all experience to some extent some hurt and some pain. And as we know, you've heard it said before, hurting people hurt people, or hurting people attempt to hurt people. And maybe it's not always on purpose. Sometimes people do try to hurt you on purpose. And again, even in that, anyone that's trying to hurt you on purpose is hurting themselves and they want to see you hurt. Now, again, the problem with that is when you attempt to inflict hurt on someone else, that hurt comes back to you several times more. So it's kind of the same thing with blaming. Blaming the other party or whatever happened and blaming, it kind of comes back on you worse because you're the one suffering in the pain of whatever it is that's hurting you, which means you are not healing. So you want to kind of get away from blaming, even if what you're saying is true. The whole idea is to heal. Try to see things from the other party's perspective. Try to see where they are and what they may be experiencing and what they may be going through that has them behaving the way they are. So that you won't blame them. Try to see them as innocent, even if their offense is not innocent. Not blaming them helps you to heal. Help yourself heal by not blaming. Again, even if what you're saying is so, no blaming, heal. And so another thing that you want to do to help yourself to not blame is to not look for an apology. Sometimes people are not going to come back and apologize for what they've done to wrong you. Um, Many a times people don't even feel that they did anything to harm you. And again, sometimes they didn't. It's just your perception of things. It's just the way the way you have things, the lens that you're looking through. That's not always the case. Sometimes people do things that's not okay. That do deserve where you do deserve an apology. However, you don't want to wait around for someone to come and give you an apology because it may not never happen. Just forgive anyway. Now, the other part to that, what I was saying is that sometimes people don't feel that they owe you an apology because they don't feel that they have done anything. Sometimes because it's true, they really haven't. And it goes right back to what I was saying as to how people hurt themselves, so to speak, and act like you hurt them because you had to do something that was better and more healthier for you. And so maybe they're waiting on an apology from you when you really don't have an apology to give to them because you didn't do anything. What you did was took care of yourself. What you did was put yourself first. And I don't mean in a selfish way, as in mishandling someone else, as if you can do them any kind of way because you're all that matters. No, I mean in a way of self-care, taking care of yourself. When a situation is not healthy for you and you remove yourself from that situation. If you remove yourself from a situation that's not healthy for you, you really don't owe anyone an apology unless you do. And what I mean by that is unless you did something inappropriate or said something that you know is worthy of an apology. In that case, yeah, you can apologize. You should apologize if there's room for that. Because sometimes it's not a thing where it's room. Sometimes things can get so bad and distant till there's no room for conversation or no room. It's just a thing where you just need to completely separate yourself from the person. But you can have an apology in your heart and send them that energy and send them that apology telepathically, spiritually, and just leave it at that. But again, some things don't warrant you to apologize. But even in the event where it does, and someone should be apologizing, don't wait for it because you waiting on an apology is only keeping you from healing. It's hindering your own progress. It's hindering your healing. Never wait on an apology. If a person comes and apologizes, that's great. And then sometimes even when in an apology, I hate to say it, but sometimes people don't even mean it. And that's not always the case. But I'm saying that and mentioning that just to say, don't wait around for that. Heal yourself. Move forward in your own healing. Take responsibility for your own healing. It's your healing. It's yours, which means it's your responsibility and no one else's. And so another thing that you want to do is to give yourself closure. It's the same thing as waiting around for an apology or feeling like someone should apologize. And let me throw this in here because I see this a lot. How people say, you owe me an apology. You can't determine whether someone owes you an apology or not, even if they do. Even if they really should apologize, you never ask for an apology. People should apologize on their own. People really should apologize on their own because if you're demanding an apology, even if it's given to you, it's probably not sincere unless they sincerely realize they should apologize once you mention it. But you want to be careful of not pressing an issue and demanding an apology from someone. Now, I'll say this. I know of a situation personally myself of going through something back and forth for years, but it's a recent event that just took things to a whole nother level. And this individual never apologized from previous things before. They would just come back around and we'd just be cool again. And so at this point, it's like I could never go there again without an apology. However, I'm not demanding it. In fact, I'm just keeping my space. I'm just kind of choose not to have this person in my life because I realize it's not good, it's not healthy, and it's just is yeah, it's one of those things that you just have to let go of. However, they could never come to me and I have any kind of interaction with them without an apology this time around. And I'm not demanding it. I'm just saying that's something that will have to happen before I can even hear anything else or do anything else where they're concerned. But I kind of backtracked a little bit, but going back to what I was saying, you have to give your own self closure. You have to give your own self closure. Some people wait around for an apology to get closure, or they try to talk things out or want some kind of an explanation or feel that the person should explain themselves or something so that they can have some closure. Well, sometimes you have to give your own self closure. Just like an apology, you can't be waiting around for no closure. Give yourself closure. You take responsibility for your own healing and give your own self closure concerning the situation. You do that for yourself. Now, if it's a situation where someone is willing to work things through with you, talk things through with you so that you both can have closure, that's great. But you don't want to press the issue and wait around for it, feeling like someone owes you closure. Guess what? They don't. It's up to them. And let me tell you something. When people don't apologize to you when they should, and people don't come and fully address and deal with a situation, giving closure when they should, trust me, they have to deal with that. They living with that. And let me just let you know that they they are not even healing at all from whatever. And 9 times out of 10, they have things going on with them from childhood all the way up. But the thing with people like that don't apologize for things and don't give you closure when they've done something that they know is so inappropriate, and the appropriate thing to do is to apologize and give closure. They're not even trying to heal. They're not even in a healing space. They're not, the last thing on their mind is healing. The people like that suppress all of their emotions, and they act like they don't feel. They're desensitized. Sometimes they don't feel. They feel when you're doing something harmful to them. People like that don't feel when they're doing something harmful to someone else. They only feel when they've been wrong. So going back to what I was saying, they're not healing. They're just walking, just look, they're already in a messed up state. So I'm saying that just to say that um that's only harming them when they're not doing the right thing by you. Not saying you wishing and harm on them, but trust me, they ain't in a good state. They can get up every day. They can go to work, go to school, do their daily tasks, whatever it is they do. They can walk around smiling, all this, that, and the other. But I promise you, they are super, super desensitized. They're like walking zombies. There's no life there because there's never been any recovery or healing or opportunity for it because they don't deal with their emotions and they don't properly deal with people when they've caused them harm. They don't do that. The only time they may, to some extent, do that is when they risk losing them, in a sense where they need them for something. And in that kind of a way, they're a user. They're a user. They'll apologize in a moment, but just for the sake of keeping you there for whatever it is they're using you for. And again, a person like that, trust me, what they have going on internally, it's not good. And so I'm saying all that to say that don't be so focused on them giving you closure, not apologizing to you, because again, when they're not doing the proper thing, and that's the proper thing by God. I mean, that's just, some things are just the right thing to do. And just because you don't feel like it, or just because you're prideful and you, whatever the case may be, doesn't mean that it's okay. Because God still knows, the universe still knows. Look, what you put out is what you're going to get back. You're going to reap what you sow. What goes around comes around. It's called karma. And trust me, even if their external life don't appear to look bad, their inner life, their inner selves, yeah. So you may be 2 steps ahead of them internally because at least, hopefully, you're working to heal. And so again, give yourself that closure. Don't wait on people to bring you closure. Let them go. Let them go, and you take responsibility for your own self, for your own healing, and get the work done. And so the whole thing in this whole taking responsibility for your own healing is to give yourself a peace of mind. If you have removed yourself from a situation or a person or whatever it may be, 9 times out of 10, it was because it wasn't a peaceful situation. The whole idea is to have peace. And so you can't have peace if you're waiting on an apology, if you're blaming someone, and if you're not giving yourself that closure. So take responsibility for your own healing. Take responsibility for your own peace of mind. Never, never put it in someone else's hands to keep you at peace. Not saying that you should, now let me be very clear here. If someone in your life is not, are doing things, and it's not just you tripping, that takes away your peace, that causes you to be, you know what I mean, not at peace. That's something that you don't need to have in your life. So I'm saying that to say that keep your peace and let them go without offering an apology or bringing closure. Now, the flip side of that is this. You only want someone in your life that protects your peace. In other words, they're not doing things to disrupt your peace. Now, I have experience in being a peace disruptor. I've had experience where I've worried certain individuals real bad about some things, which I know caused them to not have peace. Now, what I can say, some of it was because of my own issues. And in certain instances, it was because of certain things they were doing that were upsetting my peace. And of course, I acted it out. But even in that, that's an indication that there's a separation that needs to take place. Because that means that you both are bumping up against each other. Your issues are conflicting and there's no peace. So again, you want to separate from situations like that because they're not peaceful. And again, if you feel a need to apologize, if you know you're wrong or were inappropriate in certain things, by all means apologize. By all means explain your position, give closure. And if you know you're in a position where you've been a problem and you're caused harm to someone else, maybe you need to go and apologize if there's space to do so. Because sometimes there's not space to do so. Because depending on how they're reactive, they may have crossed out any room for that to happen. So I'm saying all that to say, take responsibility for your own healing. Don't wait on no apology. Don't wait on someone to give you any closure. You take responsibility for your own healing and your own peace of mind. No one's responsible for your healing except you. You are responsible for your own healing. Again, even if you have support. Even healers are just really support. They just hold a space for you to heal and aid you in it, giving you the tools to help you heal yourself. But you're responsible. No one can do the healing for you. Not a therapist, not a counselor, not a psychiatrist, not a life coach, not even I. God can, but you have to be open to it. You still have to do the work. You still have to look at things that you need to look at. You still have to process things you need to process. You still have to let go of things and release and forgive things you need to let go of, release, and forgive. You have to take responsibility for your own healing. And so, you guys, with that, I'm going to wrap this video up. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red subscribe button right there. And click the bell so that you can get a notification every time I upload a new video. You guys can also connect with me on Facebook and Instagram at Latricia Booker. You can connect with me on Twitter at Kingdom Business 9. That is Kingdom Business with one S and the number 9. And so, you guys, that is my time. And so that means that I am out. Peace.